Welcome to the Lift Your Story podcast with guest Zara Miller.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Ann. I am that gal from Milton, Ontario, Canada, and I'm with.
I am that guy. I'm Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas, and we'd like to welcome you to our Lift Your Story podcast.
So in this episode, we're pleased to have Zara Miller here. She is an author.
Okay, Zara, can you tell us about your book?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a young adult novel, young adult / new age. It's a story, I like to call it a coming of age story, although maybe some of the people who already had a chance to look at it said that my heroine doesn't exactly come of age by the end of the book because she's a very interesting character. And I think it reflects on how coming of age is a false narrative because we learn and we grow our whole lives. So yes, we do market this book as a coming of age story, but it's so much more than that.
So, like a slice of life.
Yes, exactly.
That covers a lot. So
There isn't any coming of age.
I know, yeah. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. And from what I mean, I'm only 26 years old, so me giving opinions on life wouldn't exactly be right. But this is my mom's opinion, and she's a teacher, and she's a pretty intelligent lady, and it was her um, it was her teachings that always stuck with me when I was growing up because I was surrounded by family, by large family, and her and my grandmother's teaching always kind of stuck with me. They always said that we never stop learning, even on our deathbed. It's kind of an ongoing thing. So when you think that you turn 18 and you're an adult, that's not true. That's not what happens. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring what I'm trying to do with this book is to show a story of a girl trapped in certain unescapable circumstances, seemingly, and hopefully young people can relate to that because the way we are incentivized by the system, if we are lucky to have a family, then we grow up around them, we internalize all their beliefs, and if those beliefs are about love and hope, then hopefully we grow up to be responsible adults who share that love and hope. But if you find yourself to be surrounded by unsupportive family, that shapes your beliefs as well. And it's just not just your beliefs, but it shapes you as a person. So this girl Cecilia is trapped in in circumstances that are not to her favor, and she's trying to figure out how to get out of there, how to get out of that household, how to get out of her hometown, and hopefully some young people can relate to that too, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that your life doesn't end in high school in case you find yourself in really tough circumstances. So yeah.
I do want to say one thing. Thank you for saying I'm young. I'm only 26 years old. You'd be surprised how many 26-year-olds say, I'm getting old, and I'm thinking, honey, you got a long way to go to get there.
Yes, I would be remiss not to say that I have heard those stories, but I do not subscribe to that. Of course I'm young. I'm 26. I don't know anything. I am not trying to preach anything to people. I am not trying to um, give off the vibes that I know everything. Not at all. I'm a storyteller first and foremost, and that's what we're doing here. That's all.
You know, it's interesting. You were talking about being from a big family and your grandmother and your mother and the influence they had on you.
Mhm.
And when I was a kid growing up, you know, on Sundays, all the family would go to my grandmother's. That's what everybody after church, everybody would go to the grandparents' house,
Mhm.
have lunch or dinner, or whatever. That's just how it was back then. But I can remember back hearing all the stories that all the adults would talk about when they were kids and different things, and the relationship you had with your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom and dad, and how those things, when you're growing up, those values, those stories you retain, you know, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
a lot of people are fortunate they have handwritten stories from their grandmother, the great grandmother that they've kept and they pass them down from generation to generation.
Hmm.
And those are so interesting to read because they're all in cursive, and of course some of them are hard to read, but still, you know, to be able to tell those stories because, like you said, there's people in that situation that you're writing about.
Yeah. Those stories are incredibly valuable. But at the same time, uh, what I am trying to do with my life, at least, is to be my own person. Meaning, I haven't forgotten anything that I've learned, which is serving me to this day. But if some of the beliefs are happen to be outdated, I never judge, but I try to look at things from another perspective. Um, so many of those beliefs and many of those teachings are very valuable, but many of them are outdated,
Mhm.
and it's important to keep an open mind.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
The core principles you want to keep, you
yeah,
know, but
absolutely.
yeah, I totally get that. And you mentioned something about being 18 and thinking you know everything. So really, once you become 18, you find out you don't know jack.
Mm. Yeah, it's not really a good, I mean, it's not really, I'm not sure who put this in our system. Like this, this idea that when you're 18, you are an adult because you are not. Maybe when you're like 27, I would say that's like when you kind of know what's going on, but still not sure how to navigate life. But at least you've met enough people, hopefully, to get a good idea about at least how to be a decent person. But when you're 18, you graduate high school and you go off into the world in case you choose to leave your hometown. And you just kind of, no, this isn't working. After months away from your family, you're like, why isn't this working? So, yeah.
I think it does depend too, though, believe it or not. I mean, my ex-husband, I would say that at 18, he was more like a 27-year-old. There are certain people who
Are
have the
mature. Hmm.
capacity that you would say, yes, that's equatable. The other thing too is how they were raised. I mean, my mother was out working at 14,
Hmm. Absolutely.
so there are some circumstances where, but yes, you're right, generalized, and particularly in this day and age where the children are staying at home longer with their parents,
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
you are
absolutely.
looking at an older, for the 18
It's,
category would be more like 27. Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny you say
absolutely.
that because one of my best friends, we were growing up, we were probably in our maybe our early 20s. We were there one time, his mom and some comment. His mom says, "Roy, are you kidding? When you were 16, you were 50." I said, "What?" She goes, "You were way past all the stuff, all the guys around you, you know,
Mm.
and they were worried about this. I was thinking about the future, getting married, having kids." So she said, "Yeah, you were like 50 when you were 16."
It's funny you guys mentioned that because that was my case, but I've always been called an alien by not just by family, and I don't mean it like in a bad way or anything, but I've always been called an alien because I've always been more mature and more ready to go off into the world. And that's kind of what the book is about. Like the girl is superbly intelligent and she's very mature for her age, and that's the way she communicates, but no one understands her. So there is this kind of theme of a misfit. So um, it's really nice to hear storytellers like Euro and Eulorian to relate to the fact that there are alien children amongst us that are that should not be underestimated when it comes to their intelligence, because kids are very smart. They just don't people just don't give them that credit because they are dependent upon their families and or their parents so much that they don't have the confidence to try new things. So yeah, hopefully Misfits will relate to that book as well.
Yeah.
There's also, I believe, because I mean, I was intelligent. I did a lot of things when I was younger. I started writing my first books when I was quite young as well. However, I had the Peter Pan syndrome. I
Mm,
never want to grow up. So
mm,
there's that conflict of, I have to grow up, I have to be an adult, but I don't
yeah.
want to be because it's too much fun being a kid. So
Mm,
I think that there's some people that you might think, oh my gosh, that person's immature. No, inside their mind, they're not, intelligence wise, they're not. They
absolutely.
just really don't want to grow up. It's Peter Pan syndrome.
Peter Pan syndrome. I had Bette Midler syndrome. Is that a thing? I was an old
No,
woman
explain.
born. I'm an old woman in this 26-year-old body. Yeah, I'm an old soul. I love John Mulaney's stand-ups because mainly because he was probably also born in 1950s, and people say that he's a time traveler because of the way he thinks and speaks and everything. And yeah, so I relate to that man very much. He's like what 35, but he's like from another era. And yeah, I do like old fashioned stuff, and I've always been I always felt comfortable in the company of adults when I was younger. Actually, I preferred it because I had nothing to talk about with the other kids. Our brains, I was just wired differently. Um, so yeah, but lucky for Cecilia, which is a character, main character, my main heroine in the book, she did find people, friends who understood her, even though they didn't understand her intelligence. Um, but yeah, I wasn't that lucky, unfortunately. Now I am, but back when I was growing up, no, there weren't a whole lot of people who could understand what was going on with me. Not to say that they were stupid or anything. It's just that, yeah, that alien thing that I like to talk about often. Yeah.
So your
Believe
pers your personal experiences kind of meld into your book.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone runs from personal experience. Like, have you heard about Taylor Swift or Bruno Mars? That's
train.
all this wonderful music is from personal experience. Of course, that shapes us, and that's what artists do. They take that, either pain or joy or a mix of that, and they put it into that art, of course. But I would not like for audiences to think that this book is autobiographical.
Yeah.
It's not at all. In fact, it is called I Am Cecilia because when you in case you want to read it and you buy this book and you have it in front of your eyes, internally with your inside voice, you read it, I am Cecilia, and that kind of stucks with you. I want people to feel like that girl because there are many themes that anyone can relate to. First of all, we used to be children, all of us. There wasn't like a skipping, like the phase that we could have skipped. That's not what happens. Second of all, it's fiction. Like however intelligent she is and however like whatever it is that makes her as much as it makes me a woman that I am today, it is not about me. This is not about me. It's about hopefully for young people to um, realize that everything is sort of temporary. I think that is the main theme of the book. Everything is temporary. The childhood is temporary. High school is temporary. The good times will end, and the bad times will end as well. So yeah, that's the message.
Yeah. So this, when you look at, or I used to tell my kids, you're talking about the times, your school is this part of your life, but work is this part of your life.
Mm,
Family is this part of
mm.
family is but your own family comes from there,
Yeah.
So it seems like it's forever when you're growing up because you can't wait to be 18, you can't wait to be 21, you can't wait to graduate from college. And the funny thing, one of my sons always said, I can't wait till I grow up so I do what I want to. And I said, okay, just remember you said that sometime. And so then one time something's happening, and I said, well, wait a minute, you're a grown up. What you can do anything you want to. Oh, Dad, don't shut up, Dad. I don't want to hear it. I said, yeah.
I empathize with your son because I mean now I am enjoying my life. Like I would be lying if I said that I did. Now I am enjoying my life. But yes, when the times were tough, the I used to tell myself every day, can we just skip this part and can I just grow up and be respected by everybody? Because I felt like everyone was it was everyone's a perfect kind of perfect excuse for everyone to tell me that I didn't know anything because I was young, because I wasn't of age. And um, any other excuse would have been fine with me. But that excuse, you're only 12, shut up, you're only 12, or shut up, you're only 15, shut up, you're only 17. Like, yes and no. We all go through stuff, no matter what age we are. And I don't think that we should disregard an opinion of young people. Um, it's just, it's not what happens. And I don't know when that happened because if you look at it from the perspective of history, young people were kind of always at the front of everything because first of all, the like the living expectancy was much lower. So that's one thing. I mean, the founding fathers were what 18 when they founded the republic. All of them were like 20, 18, 19, whatever. So they were children. So to just tell a child to shut up, you don't know what you're talking about because you haven't lived anything, it's like 50-50. You shouldn't, I think that we as a society should pay more attention to what young people have to say because the kids, especially these days, are very smart.
Well, they've got more access to everything than we had when we were kids. Everything is
Absolutely.
instant. They want to know something, it's right there, boom. It's not what, wait till the news comes on tomorrow. I mean, they can search, find anything at the touch of a finger in a moment.
I know, I know. And I'm,
And
yeah,
everything
go
is
ahead.
viral. Everything is viral.
Everything is viral. Mhm,
So
absolutely.
it, it,
My family tried to shield me from the internet for as long as they could. So I think that I am from the last generation who actually had to go to the library and study because my mom assured that I didn't have an internet connection until I was 15. So when I went to high school, that's when she finally purchased an internet connection for me because it was unbearable. I had to go to the library and research everything. So I learned the value of hard work. That's why up until this day I love books so much, and I've dedicated my life to writing them. And rather than finding something online, I actually take time and effort to go to a bookshop and do my research because yeah, it's incentivized within me. It's just it's there. You can't, some beliefs are just hard to reach.
yeah.
There
I,
must be something though to the libraries because they still exist. And
mhm.
I know my daughter loved going to the library. She just loved, even with the internet and everything, she would go, well, Mom, where's the library? Go there. And I just wanted to quickly say what you're talking about the young people, they say from the mouth of babes, and it is true. Some of those things that they just come out with are just so wise, and yet they can be coming out from a 6-year-old, like pay attention, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because some of the women in Congress or the young people who are currently in Congress are some of the smartest people that I've ever met. I'm a huge fan of young people who are currently representing some of their districts in Congress, and most of those people have brought new beliefs, and they are leading the way, and that's what we need. They have this new perspective, and it's about growing as a society, and it's about growing as people. Like if the industrial revolution never happened, could you imagine? Like that was progress as well, but from a technical point of view, from a technological point of view. Um, but we as people, as a society, need to grow as well, and young people need to lead the way.
Well, technology is going so fast.
Mm,
I mean, it's just incredible at how fast technology is moving. But like you're talking about the library and books, me personally, I like to read a hardcover book.
me too.
I
Yes.
mean, you can get them online and all that stuff, but I just was something about having that hardcover. My wife reads paperbacks, but I like the hardcover books.
Me
I
too. Yeah.
just I've always have, and
Me
I
too.
and we're all readers, so we always have a book with us, and so
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes I feel like giving up on this new stuff. I can't keep up. There's a new app every hour coming out, and I'm like, I can't keep up with this stuff. But I don't want to disregard the huge importance of social media, because they are often villainized, and they should be for a good reason. But if you like, there's two sides to a coin always. Like there's two sides of the story. There are always two sides to everything. And if I didn't have a strong LinkedIn profile, I wouldn't have been discovered by the publisher. So that's a huge omission from the story about social media. So when you use it for good, it's good. But of course, I do realize how much pain and mental health issues and all this stuff is connected to social media. So that's part of it too. Yeah, you just kind of, I think that the hardest thing in life is probably finding a balance to, yeah, to, yeah, not be enslaved
Mhm.
by those things, but also use it for your advantage, I would say. So that kind of like strike the balance between that is sometimes the hardest thing.
I think one of the like say example Facebook. One of the good things to me is being able to reconnect with people you haven't seen like since you were
Yeah,
in high school. I mean,
yeah,
we've reconnected in a couple of groups I'm in that and it was just like we talked last week. It's been almost what's been over 50 years.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that part is nice. And then plus most families, that's how they connect. They keep in touch on Facebook. If you want to know what's going on, hey, did you hear about so and so had a baby? Really? Oh,
Yeah,
they were pregnant. Oh yeah,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
How'd you know that? Oh, Facebook. That was part of the reason we ended up getting on Facebook because
No,
everybody said, "Ooh,
absolutely.
do you know
Yeah.
how? Have you seen this? Do you hear about that? No. So you don't see. I don't have Facebook. We better get on it." So we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You
I
know.
know.
With
It's
me,
true.
yeah, with me, it served a really good purpose because I've moved 24 times and gosh knows how many different cities and countries. So finding my friends, even from the one that I don't even know when I didn't know her. That's how. And then, it was like probably about 30 years we hadn't connected and I found her. I went, hey, Cynthia, how are you doing?
I know.
Uh,
Yeah.
Interesting thing though I saw on Facebook, speaking of Facebook, is that, today you're supposed to have all your computers off and your technology off. In the US, it's supposed to be that, I can't remember what it's called, unplugging, National
Yeah,
Unplugging
yeah.
Day. Yeah, I think I'm in Canada, so I don't have to worry about it. I would have failed already anyway.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I know. Yeah.
I don't think many
Totally,
people are
yeah,
going
but
to do
that's
that.
that's
No.
definitely the biggest, yeah, it was definitely the biggest advantage, that you can connect with your loved one. The other day, my mom told me, you know what, I miss you so much. Bless Mark Zuckerberg, let him keep all his money. I don't care for us being able to do this, like FaceTime every day, for me to be able to hear you and see you. Bless him, let him keep all the money. I don't care. So yeah, obviously it was very sweet. But yeah, she's kind of right. It's a pretty good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a pretty good thing.
And
So-
like we were saying though, at all times, we are very lucky to have this at the time of COVID because it did help. We're talking about mental health issues, but I believe that as long as you use it, balance and everything, it's been a positive because you've been able to see your family, even if you can't touch them and feel them, you can see them at least. So I don't know what it would have been like if it was in the, late 1970s, early 1980s.
Yeah.
It would have
would've
been
been a
so,
it would have been terrible.
Yeah, that would have been, really.
But like Zoom, what a platform. It's like we're sitting together in your living room,
Yeah. and
It's
we
not
can
it's
talk.
not talking on the phone. You actually see people, you can interact with them, and that goes a long way into helping you deal with the things that are going on, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone crazy without being able to speak to my family or my friends on Zoom. Yeah. It's definitely we owe technology a debt at the same time. Yes, it can be enslaving. Yes, it can be definitely.
So what advice would you give to an aspiring author?
I would say believe in your story. That's the biggest thing. When I was, because it's not about, I don't want to say you don't have to be talented, obviously, because I would be lying. You do have to have a sense of um, writing and ability to write. But at the same time, believing in what you are writing is, I think, the secret ingredients. Um, some people may think that you don't have a story. That might not be necessarily true. You just need to find the right platform for expressing that story. And that's why I'm so honored to be here with you guys today, because that's what you do.
We believe everyone has a story.
Yes,
Everyone has a story, and somebody else wants to hear that story.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So how can our listeners reach out to you?
You can reach me on Instagram under Zara Miller author. You can follow me there, or on LinkedIn. That's probably my favorite platform. Also by my name, Zara Miller. And yeah, I am trying to keep my profiles updated, and I'm trying to stay in touch with my audience as much as I can. But again, keeping a safe distance to stay mentally healthy and all that. But yeah, I can't imagine not communicating with my wonderful fans and with my wonderful friends, and the New Degree Press, my publisher, and all those people. So yeah,
and
we
to get your book, I would imagine they can go to Amazon. Is there a specific link you want them to go to for your
the
book?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. The book will have been published the last week of April 2021. It will be available in Barnes and Nobles, brick and mortar stores, and also on Amazon. Yes, it will be available on Amazon. The book is called I Am Cecilia.
Great. I really, really we appreciate you being here. It's been wonderful. And again, for the listeners, I Am Cecilia. You can have it Barnes and Noble and Amazon. Please check it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
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 Thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to visit us at lifterstory.com.